Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2017 video. Today we're back on the West Coast Main Line North and we are doing a quick scenario. This is only 30 odd minutes long, but it's over a bit of the route that I just didn't even think of. We're going from Coventry to Northampton and we're going to see what it's like. So you're waiting for the express. If I wait and then we'll leave this go. You're waiting for the express to pass before being cleared into platform 2. After picking up at Coventry, you'll be stopping at Rugby, Long Buckby and finally Northampton. It's quite busy, so keep an eye out on the signals. You may be held up at Rugby due to delayed freight service. Okay. Let's wait and see. I have also played around with my graphics settings, guys, so the quality of this video is going to maybe be a bit questionable frame rate wise, but we'll see how we go. I've been playing around with my anti-aliasing settings a lot just to try and get there's a scenario on the Crouch Valley line I want to do that I just cannot get to run at anything above sort of 15 frames per second for the first 20 minutes of, and I don't really want to video that for you. But with you guys all liking and subscribing and sharing this video, I will be making a little bit more revenue from YouTube and be able to upgrade my CPU, which will help massively, actually. I also picked this route because it's got that sort of dusk going on, and this route, the lighting on this route is superb. Absolutely superb. Oh, that pendo's off. I was looking forward to get a screenshot with that. Let's get the doors open here and have a little look around Coventry Station. And I'll grab a screen, I think, as well. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I've never actually been to Coventry Station, so I don't know if it's completely lifelike. You guys, I'm sure, will tell me in the comments. But it's got that West Coast Main Line feel to it, with a very 60s upgrade from the line modification, modernisation stuff. Quite know what's going on there. That's a pretty damp texture, to be honest with you. What are we on there? Single yellow. Double yellow. It did say we needed to watch out for signals, didn't we? It's a really nice route, this, performance-wise as well. I'm really impressed with it. So as we're driving the 170 Noah, we will mention the 170 enhancement pack, which we should be expecting in the not too distant future, hopefully. But Armstrong Powerhouse have also just, the last couple of weeks, released a few sneaky peeks at their upcoming Class 56 sound pack, which I am very much looking forward to. Oh, it's an enhancement pack, isn't it? Yeah, not a sound. Well, I keep wanting to say sound pack from it, but I think they're all going to be enhancement packs from now on. So, I mean, I'm not even sure if in real life this service would be. Well, I think it must be, because it's Northampton wired. I don't think it is. No, I don't know. You guys will let me know anyway. I've never actually been to the train station at Northampton, funnily enough. Even though it's not even that far, it's just that little way out. It's sort of somewhere in nowhere, really, isn't it? That's just gone green. And it's also nice to drive the 170 somewhere that isn't the Edinburgh to Glasgow. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Edinburgh to Glasgow, especially with the new track. It's stunningly beautiful, but it doesn't offer huge amounts of variety scenario-wise. You can get different stopping patterns, I suppose, but that's a slightly different routing at Falkirk. But that's really about it. Chris is now going to come on in my comments and go, "What are you on about? That you can do this, this, and this." I think as it's Chris's local line, he definitely has a way higher interest in it than most people. Strangely, London Midland livery I think quite suits a 170. Not that it's one of my favourite liveries by far, but it does suit it. Just those track run sounds, I wish they'd change. So I'm quite liking that this has got quite the grey sky, but still quite clear. It's like dusky feeling in it. Yesterday, actually, there was for those of you that didn't look out of your window, there was a hurricane. Was it Ophelia? And that caused most of Britain to go a strange reddy-orangey colour due to loads of Saharan sand, and I think somewhere else was saying it was particles. Oh, I'm doing way more than I should be doing. Particles from the Portuguese wildfires as well were having an effect. It was a really strange thing to see. I mean, we did get I remember a couple of years ago we got a Saharan dust storm, didn't we? No, all the cars were covered in the weird orange dust. I do remember that happening a little while ago. But this was the first time I'd seen the sun actually glowing red. It was like something out of Star Wars. It was quite eerie. It was really quite eerie. But the winds weren't too bad for us. We didn't get much of them down here. The other thing that was a big day for yesterday was, of course, the Class 800's debut in passenger revenue earning service. It didn't sound like it went too well. It was an air conditioning fault that made water come out of the overhead rails. It was overhead rails, the overhead, like, I want to say storage bins, but they're not, like the luggage racks. Like, you know, the bits of those that are blocked off with equipment in it. It sounds like a drain wasn't connected properly, but it looked like a lot of water for an air conditioning drain. I can understand there will be a lot of water in them, considering it's, I don't know how many systems are running on a 5-car train that they are. I'd say I'm actually surprised, but I'm not. I was expecting there to be some issue going on. But what I wasn't expecting was the level that it was at. I mean, I don't think anything this sort of awful's happened since, what, APT? And even on the first ever APT run, it was alright. I think it managed it. One of the press runs was pretty abysmal. But that was also because British Rail, in their own logic, I can see why they did it, plied the press with booze the night before and in the morning. So a lot of the journalists that got on the train were a bit tender. Oh, this is nice going up and over here. I remember reading in the railway press when all this bit was sort of sorted and modernised and everything and put in. There was a lot of hype about it. Oh, there's an 08 there. Something you don't really see on today's network, isn't it? I think there's still quite a few around actually, but there are a bit few and far between. Oh, see, now we're noticing a bit of frame rate drop. That will be my new settings. So I'm going to look at the floor and see on the lovely pedals, just so you don't see my abysmal frame rate at this stage. Just things like the stagecoach sign on here, seeing real world advertisements and things like that, it is something that makes routes like this so much better. Not having to worry too much about licensing because it's all free means you can put in things like that. A nice stuttery stop, but a stop nonetheless. We've got a little while here by the looks of it. Let's go and have a look around. We'll go over the wall. Is that an Audi? Looks like an Audi, doesn't it? They're always that weird shape. And the red and white bus that gets everywhere. Yeah, I can hear a car alarm. Oh no, it's a 350. Mate. It's quite weird, isn't it? It's dead to the side of me. I'm up in my frame limiter, really. But then the more I creep forward, the more stuttery we go. And the more I creep backwards, the more stuttery we go. Chris has just messaged me saying I'm streaming. Nope. I'm recording. And I've just checked OBS and I'm definitely not streaming. Oh, I know what I've done. I'll have hit the button by mistake earlier. So also the good news is my 170 manual is on its way, which I'm very impressed about. Is that a single? That's a single. And that's very close. It's a short signal distance, that. It doesn't look red. Definitely in red. That's green. It's a route I'm going to really like to route learn on, get a bit more track knowledge about it, a little bit more route knowledge, a little bit know the junctions, know what splits where, just sort of know what to expect. I haven't had much time to play it by just not recording really, but I would like to do a bit of it. Just the detail in these, like these neutral sections, and then the lights down the side, which I found on the Glasgow Airport extension, Glasgow Airport rail link, sorry. Just having to keep an eye on the time because I want to be able to finish this before I go to work, which is soon. It's getting a little bit darker. Do we have night lighting on this? No. We've got 60 to 75 limit on this bit as well. Something that always baffles me as well, on like real-time trains and open train times and things like that. I very rarely see it saying timed for like Turbo Star or 170. It's always timed for 158 or Express Sprinter, which is a 90 limit, isn't it? Poor Turbo Stars don't get the love they deserve. Long Buckby. I think I've driven past Long Buckby, but I don't think I've ever been. Up Main. Nice. Rail freight terminal. Very pretty. Whereabouts are we? So this is me trying to get my bearings as well a little bit. Oh, it is Drift. Coventry International Rail Freight Terminal. What have we got waiting there? 47? Oh, retro. I've still got to go through. This scenario is actually from the scenario pack that's available on UKTS. I do have to go through and edit some of the stock that's in it still. I'm still waiting for some of the other third-party scenario developers to get their hands on this and give it some of their treatment. Chris especially, but also like Josh, the Mr. Dreamliner, all those sorts of people that really know what they're doing with scenarios. So the 4 operators of 170s at the minute, right? We've got Greater Anglia, Belly-Goes ScotRail, Cross Country and London Midland. And considering them, what, there was like a bazillion of them made? How many were made? Two miles to Long Buckby, so I should have enough time to find them. God, there is 6 subclasses. The basic specification remains the same engine length and transmission. The difference being seating arrangements specified by the different operators because of the different interior fittings. The subclasses weigh differently, up to 2 tonnes. That's not quite right because there's also cab light differences, isn't there? And these bits here. So on some of the cross-country ones as well as some of the Abellio ones, you've got like a valance that comes, like a full front valance. To me, this just still look real British. They look very much a British rail creation. I don't know if there's been one written off yet either. The other thing that's quite poignant today, and something that's actually become a little bit closer to me than it had before, is the 17th anniversary of the Hatfield crash today. And I've recently become a little bit more, well, I've touched it a little bit, put it that way, which has been a bit kind of harrowing and a bit sort of a realisation for somebody who is very interested in rail accidents and how they happen and why they happened and what worked, what didn't, that sort of thing. Actually managed to speak to somebody firsthand about it, which was really nice. Pretty horrible story to listen to, don't get me wrong, but yeah, harrowing. Yeah, I tend to look at it more from a technical and engineering point of view. I hadn't really thought of the human factor of it really until very recently. It's quite strange because my job is always thinking about human factors. So I think I do it to sort of, it's a slight bit of escapism. Don't really have to think about the people so much, but you always do when it comes to a crash. It's also quite linked in with, I watched the Sully, the film, last night with the A320 that went down on the Hudson, the miracle on the Hudson. And again, that was like a like a really emotive version of air crash investigation. Had enough technical bits in it to keep me watching it, and enough sop for missus to enjoy it, so it worked out quite well. So we got Northampton in 8 miles. So it's just like a different sort of side. We've got, what's a fair hill here, we're going to have to watch our speed. So it's like it's like a loop, isn't it? That we just haven't quite got round yet. So it's Northampton. Kings Heath sidings. Ooh. Oh, I said, didn't I? We need to watch our speed going down here. And then I went into the track view and just completely ignored it. Oh yeah, while I'm talking, just some housekeeping bits from my end. Next week, which will be the English half terms, I'm actually off work for a week, so as much as I'll hope to get some videos done, it will be primarily getting the shed sorted. The shed will be gutted, insulated, boarded, the lot. And then I'll move everything back in, plug everything back in. I'm actually really looking forward to doing it. I'm actually going to have to sit my bottom down though at some point and start actually planning it properly. because I know what I'm doing with the shed, but I don't know what I'm doing desk-wise or control desk-wise more than anything. Debating whether to have it straight or have it wrapped around me. I think we're still going to go with it wrapped around me like this setup is. I find it an awful lot more comfortable. I've never been one for a desk. I'm sure you've heard me before. I don't. I had my PC next to my bed when I was a lad, so it didn't really. Never had a desk. Just strangely. I always had the comfort of console gaming, but with a PC. That was when I had a giant silicon graphics monitor. 21-inch CRT, it was huge. Top of the line though. Very pretty bit of kit. I even used, do you know, I used that monitor for a good 10 years, I think. Maybe not 10 years. I probably got it in about 98. And I think I went to TFT when I lived in Cambridge Road. So when was that? Oh, that was cool. 2005, I think. 2004. Enjoying your fire, lads. Keep them warm, yeah? This is quite a cool little area, isn't it? This sort of thing that I like. Little neutral section, a lot of network rail stuff going on. I like it. I'm running late and I need to not be running late because I need to be out of here in minutes. I want to grab something for lunch as well before I get into work. So don't worry, yeah, this week's there'll be more content coming out YouTube-wise this week, but next week may be a little bit iffy. Depends how quickly I get stuff done. Quite excited to see what this looks like, if I'm honest. So I'm going 40 down to 15 pretty quickly and then into a bay platform. at Northampton. Platform 5, cool. Relatively big then. And it must be electrified. Never really think of it as part of the West Coast Main Line. Probably takes me about the same time to get to Northampton as it takes me to get to Peterborough. Maybe a little bit quicker. So I always just sort of think, well, it can't be. Do you ever do that? Do you ever have like a place in your head that, like an idea of a place in your head, and it turns out to be completely different to what it is in reality? What's that, 56? 47. Yeah, I think after that run I've still got some tweaking to do graphics wise. Got to try and find a better way for my system to deal with these lights, because it seems to be in heavily lit areas that I'm having issues. A bit like Bounds Green on the East Coast Main Line South. But the wonderful Nathan Smith has put an end to that. I think he cut it down from something like 60 lights to 7 or something. Voyager pulling out over there. That was a pretty little run. Some odd AI, I'll give it that, but on the whole. But let me know in the comments if this is a prototypical service. Would have this been a 170? Would have this been a 350? Would have this been even a 323 this far south? I don't think so, but I'll say it anyway. What would it have been? It's weird, I'm back up at 20 odd frames now. So then guys, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this video. And I will catch you all over the next couple of days with some more wonderful train sim based videos. Once again guys, thanks ever so much.